As we celebrate the 60th anniversary of Dr. Zhivago, one of the most iconic films in cinematic history, fans might wonder what became of its illustrious cast. From the haunting beauty of Julie Christie to the magnetic presence of Omar Sharif, these stars captured hearts worldwide. In 2025, we look back at their lives and careers after this epic masterpiece. Who continued to shine on the silver screen? Who pursued different paths? Join us as we uncover the fascinating journeys of the Dr. Zhivago cast over the past 6 decades. Omar Sharif played the passionate Yuri Zhivago in 1965 at the age of 33. His portrayal of the conflicted doctor and poet, torn between his love for Laura and loyalty to his wife Tanya, brought depth to the character's internal struggles. Sharif captured the essence of a man lost in the tumult of war and passion. In his personal life, Sharif's marriage to Egyptian actress Fatin Hamama, which began in 1955, was filled with love but eventually broke down due to his demanding career and emotional distance. They divorced in 1977 after having one son, Tariq. Though Sharif maintained a relationship with his son, his later years were marked by loneliness and regrets, as his emotional life seemed to mirror the tragedies of his characters. His health declined, and he passed away on July 10, 2015, at the age of 83 from a heart attack. His death was quiet and marked the end of a life that had once been full of passion and public admiration but was ultimately filled with personal heartache and isolation. Rod Steiger portrayed Viktor Komarovsky, a manipulative and powerful lawyer, in Dr. Zhivago at the age of 40 in 1965. Komarovsky, a wealthy and ruthless character, used his position to control those around him, including Laura, with no regard for morality. Steiger brought a chilling intensity to the role, capturing Komarovsky's dangerous ambition. Despite his professional success, Steiger's personal life was filled with turmoil. His first marriage to actress Claire Bloom ended in divorce due to intense personal conflicts, and his second marriage to Sherry Steiger was marked by allegations of abuse. His third marriage ended in bitterness, and his relationships with his children were strained, contributing to his sense of isolation. As his career faltered, Steiger struggled with alcohol abuse and depression, and on July 9, 2002, he passed away at 77 from pneumonia and kidney failure, a tragic end to a man whose talents were overshadowed by his personal demons. Alec Guinness portrayed Yevgraf Zhivago, Yuri's half-brother, in Dr. Zhivago in 1965 at the age of 51. Yevgraf was a stoic, dedicated officer who devoted his life to protecting his brother's legacy during the turbulent Russian Revolution. Guinness brought a quiet strength and gravitas to the role, capturing the character's deep commitment to duty. While his career flourished, Guinness's personal life was marked by inner conflict and dissatisfaction. He married Marilla Solomon in 1938, and though they had a son, Matthew, their marriage was often strained by Guinness's feelings of isolation and inner turmoil. He struggled with the pressures of fame and was frequently disillusioned by his public persona. Guinness's later years were marked by health problems, and despite his remarkable achievements, he remained a man haunted by personal doubts. He passed away on August 5, 2000 at the age of 86 from liver cancer, leaving behind a legacy of iconic roles but a life filled with quiet suffering and unresolved struggles. Siobhan McKenna played the compassionate Anna in Dr. Zhivago in 1965, at the age of 42. On screen, she embodied a nurturing and supportive maternal figure, yet her personal life was filled with deep sorrow. McKenna married twice, first to Irish playwright Dennis Johnston, which ended in divorce, and then to Charles C. Jackson, but that marriage also collapsed. Despite having a son, McKenna's home life was marked by emotional distance and unfulfilled dreams. Throughout her career, McKenna struggled with a sense of loneliness and emotional pain that overshadowed her professional success. Her health began to deteriorate when she was diagnosed with cancer, and she faced this battle in private. McKenna passed away on November 16, 1986, at the age of 63, having spent her final years in solitude, her personal struggles contrasting sharply with the warmth and nurturing she portrayed on screen. Ralph Richardson portrayed the wise and dignified Alexander in Dr. Zhivago in 1965, at the age of 63. Although he played a figure of authority and stability, Richardson's personal life was anything but stable. He married 3 times, each marriage troubled with difficulties. His first marriage to actress Muriel Guelda ended in divorce, and his second, to actress Phyllis Calvert, also fell apart. In his third marriage to actress Irene Worth, Richardson found a more lasting relationship, but it still faced emotional burdens due to his relentless work schedule and personal struggles. Known for his talent, Richardson privately battled depression and loneliness, which took a toll on his mental and physical health. His later years were plagued by a series of strokes, and despite his immense career achievements, he passed away on October 10, 1983, at the age of 80, his life ending in quiet suffering that mirrored the emotional weight of the characters he portrayed. Klaus Kinski played the intense and volatile Kostoid in 1965 at the age of 39. Kostoid's character was unpredictable, fiercely loyal, and marked by a deep sense of personal commitment to the revolution, yet this passion often veered into dangerous extremes. Kinski himself was no stranger to extremes, with a personal life that mirrored the turbulence of his on-screen roles. His relationships, particularly with his daughter, actress Nastasia Kinski, were often strained and marked by emotional neglect. Kinski was married multiple times, with each marriage ending in bitter conflict. His erratic behavior, driven by unchecked rage and emotional instability, caused a pattern of broken relationships and isolation. Despite his fame and acting talent, Kinski's personal life remained chaotic and filled with regret. He passed away on November 23, 1991, at the age of 65 from a heart attack, his death the tragic end of a life marred by self-destruction and unresolved emotional turmoil. Bernard Kay portrayed the fervent Bolshevik in 1965 at the age of 37. His character was a passionate revolutionary, driven by an unwavering commitment to the cause, willing to sacrifice everything for the greater good. Kay's portrayal highlighted the inner conflict of a man deeply immersed in his beliefs, torn between idealism and reality. Off-screen, however, Kay's personal life was fraught with emotional turmoil. His marriage to actress Anne Beach, which began full of promise, ended in a bitter divorce, leaving Kay to grapple with feelings of failure and isolation. Despite a steady career in television, Kay struggled with loneliness in his later years, never quite finding the peace or happiness he sought. He had no children, which only deepened his sense of solitude. Kay passed away on December 25, 2014, at the age of 86, quietly and without fanfare, leaving behind a legacy of both artistic contribution and personal heartache. Gerard Tichy portrayed the disciplined and strategic Liberius in 1965 at the age of 45. As the Red Partisan commander, his character was focused, tactical, and deeply committed to the revolution. Tichy's portrayal captured the essence of a man driven by duty and an unyielding sense of purpose. However, Tichy's personal life was far from the calm and control of his on-screen persona. His 2 marriages were unhappy and eventually ended in divorce, with Tichy's emotional distance and the strain of his career contributing to these breakdowns. Despite having children, Tichy's relationships with his family were distant and fractured. His sense of failure as a husband and father weighed heavily on him, leading to a quiet life of regret and inner turmoil. Tichy passed away on April 11, 1992, at the age of 72, his death marking the conclusion of a life full of professional success but overshadowed by personal dissatisfaction and loneliness. Jeffrey Keane portrayed the knowledgeable and respected medical professor in Dr. Zhivago at 49. The character was a beacon of wisdom and expertise, offering critical insights into the medical crises unfolding during the revolution. Keane's calm and composed performance stood in stark contrast to the chaos around him, yet his own life was far from serene. While his career included notable roles, including his portrayal in the James Bond series, Keane's personal life was fraught with challenges. He married Betty in the early 1950s, and they had 2 children, but the pressures of his declining career and financial strain led to marital difficulties. Their eventual divorce left Keane struggling with feelings of isolation. As his health declined and his work became less prominent, King faced depression and a sense of unfulfilled potential. He passed away on November 3, 2005, at the age of 89, after battling illness in his final years. Noel Willman played the stern and authoritative Razin in Dr. Zhivago at the age of 47 in 1965. Razin was a character defined by his strict discipline and unwavering dedication to his duties, embodying the harsh reality of military command during the Russian Revolution. Willman's performance radiated authority, capturing the character's no-nonsense approach to life. However, his personal life was far from the image of control he projected on screen. His first marriage ended in a painful divorce, largely due to emotional neglect and the pressures of his demanding career. His second marriage also faced difficulties, particularly as Willman's health began to deteriorate in his later years. He struggled with loneliness and isolation, having no children to share his life with. As his career waned, Willman turned inward, battling depression and regret over missed opportunities. He passed away on December 24, 1988, at the age of 70, from natural causes. Adrienne Corri played the strong and resilient Amelia in Dr. Zhivago at 34. Amelia was a character known for her determination and ability to endure the hardships of the revolution, reflecting Corri's own strength in overcoming personal struggles. While her on-screen presence portrayed a woman navigating turmoil with grace, her personal life was marked by emotional hardship. Her first marriage to actor Paul Daneman ended in divorce after only a few years, a result of their growing emotional distance. She later married Italian actor Paolo Tullio, but that relationship also faced difficulties, ultimately ending in separation. Corri had 2 children, but her strained marriages and career struggles led to an increasingly isolated and somber life. As her career faded, Corri battled periods of depression, and the weight of unfulfilled potential seemed to haunt her. She passed away on March 13, 2016, at the age of 84. Jack MacGowran portrayed the loyal and dependable Petya in Dr. Zhivago in 1965 at the age of 47. Petya, with his unwavering loyalty and courage, was a character who embodied the virtues of steadfast friendship and sacrifice, but MacGowran's own life was marked by emotional hardship. Though his career had its moments of promise, he struggled with finding lasting success, and his personal life was filled with loneliness. He married actress MacGowran, but their relationship ended in divorce, and the emotional toll of this loss lingered with him. Despite his professional talent, MacGowran's health began to deteriorate, and in 1973, he passed away suddenly on January 30 at the age of 54 from complications related to influenza. His death was untimely, leaving a sense of unfulfilled potential and an industry deprived of a talented actor taken too soon. Mark Eden played the hard-working engineer at the dam in Dr. Zhivago, starting in 1965 at the age of 37. His character was dedicated, technical, and focused on the task at hand, a reflection of Eden's own professional demeanor. However, behind his on-screen dedication, Eden faced many challenges in his personal life. His first marriage ended in divorce, and although his second marriage to actress Sue Nichols lasted longer, it was not without its struggles. Eden's later years were overshadowed by the gradual onset of Alzheimer's disease, a cruel affliction that slowly took away his memory and sense of self. This devastating illness affected his ability to connect with the world around him and led to a painful period of decline. Eden passed away on January 1, 2021, at the age of 92, after battling Alzheimer's for several years, marking the end of a life filled with quiet personal hardships. Eric Chitty played the wise and experienced old soldier in Dr. Zhivago starting in 1965 at the age of 58. Chitty's portrayal of the old soldier, filled with stories and wisdom from his past, was a reflection of his own vast experiences, but his personal life was marked by deep emotional turmoil. He was married twice, but both marriages were difficult, and his personal happiness remained elusive. Although he achieved success in his career, Chitty struggled with depression and feelings of isolation, which weighed heavily on him as he aged. The emotional scars of his personal life, coupled with the physical toll of aging, led to his gradual decline in health. Chitty passed away on July 22, 1977, at the age of 70, leaving behind a legacy of profound characters and performances that contrasted sharply with the loneliness he endured in his personal life. Gwen Nelson portrayed the hard-working female janitor in 1965 at the age of 64. Her character was a model of resilience and dedication, working tirelessly in the background despite receiving little recognition. Nelson's own life was shaped by similar struggles. She was married once, but the marriage was fraught with difficulties and ultimately ended in divorce. She had one daughter, Sarah, but their relationship was strained, as Nelson's demanding career and sense of responsibility often took precedence over her role as a mother. The distance between mother and daughter deepened over the years, and Nelson's later life was marked by a growing sense of regret. She spent her final years reflecting on what could have been, haunted by the emotional sacrifices she had made. Gwen Nelson passed away on October 15, 1990, at the age of 89, her passing a sad end to a life full of quiet struggle and emotional sacrifice. Rita Tushingham, playing the innocent girl in Dr. Zhivago in 1965 at the age of 23, brought to life a character full of hope and resilience. However, off-screen, Tushingham's life was marked by disappointment and heartache. She married actor Anthony Smee, but their relationship ended in divorce, and her second marriage also failed. Throughout these struggles, she raised her daughter alone, facing the hardships of single motherhood while coping with the emotional fallout of her failed relationships. Despite her film success, Tushingham felt a deep sense of isolation and unfulfilled dreams. The hopefulness of her role in Dr. Zhivago was in stark contrast to the emotional turmoil she faced in real life. Now 82, Tushingham continues to act, but her life remains overshadowed by the sense of loss and longing, making it a bittersweet reflection of the innocence she portrayed on screen. Tom Courtenay portrayed Pasha Antipov, Strelnikov, in Dr. Zhivago at 28, embodying the passionate revolutionary who ultimately succumbs to the brutal reality of war. Pasha, driven by his idealism, transforms into the hard, ruthless Strelnikov, a tragic figure of the revolution. Courtenay's performance captured the sorrow of a man whose youthful ideals were shattered by the violence he once sought to change. Off-screen, Courtenay's personal life was filled with struggles. His first marriage to Lynn Perry ended in divorce after a few years, marred by emotional distance and infidelity. His second marriage to Isabel also faltered, and the couple eventually separated. Courtenay's career, once full of promise, faced stagnation, and he battled periods of depression. Despite his immense talent, he became a more reclusive figure as he aged. At 87, Courtenay now leads a quiet life, far from the limelight. Geraldine Chaplin portrayed Tanya Gromyko, the devoted wife of Yuri Zhivago, starting in 1965 at the age of 21. Tanya's character, who stood by her husband despite his infidelities, embodied loyalty and grace under pressure. Chaplin's portrayal of Tanya was one of strength in the face of adversity, showing a woman who continued to love despite her pain. Chaplin's own life mirrored some of the tragedies she portrayed on screen. She married Spanish actor Paco Peralta, but their relationship ended in divorce after several years of struggle. The emotional toll of this failure left her grappling with personal insecurities. She had children, but like Tanya, her efforts to maintain family happiness were challenged by personal disappointments. At 80 years old in 2025, Chaplin lives a more private life, her career overshadowed by her personal heartaches. Julie Christie played the enigmatic Lara Antipova starting in 1965 at the age of 25. Her portrayal of Lara, caught in a passionate affair with Yuri while navigating the dangers of the Russian Revolution, highlighted both the character's strength and vulnerability. Christie's portrayal made Lara a symbol of love and loss. However, Christie's personal life was marked by emotional pain and unfulfilled desires. She had a highly publicized relationship with photographer Derek Jacobi, which ended in heartbreak, and though she longed for a family, she never remarried or had children. Christie struggled with depression and loneliness as her career waned, and she found herself withdrawing from the public eye. At 84 years old in 2025, Christie continues to live a quiet life, far from the limelight, reflecting on both her celebrated career and the emotional turmoil that shadowed it, with few lasting connections to ease her solitude. Wolf Fries played the stern and authoritative delegate in 1965 at the age of 56. His character was dedicated to his duties, upholding rules and regulations without allowing emotions to interfere. The delegate's stern, unemotional demeanor reflected the cold bureaucracy of the time. In real life, Fries' devotion to his career left little room for personal happiness. He was married twice, but both marriages ended in divorce, and he had no children. His emotional distance from others left him increasingly isolated as he aged. Despite a steady career in theater and television, Fries struggled with loneliness, often finding solace only in his work. His later years were overshadowed by regret and the painful realization that his career achievements could never replace the deep personal void he felt. Wolf Fries passed away in 1975, at the age of 65, his death marking the quiet end of a life defined by duty but also by unspoken sorrow. Lili Murati portrayed the brave and resourceful train jumper in 1965 at the age of 51. Known for her daring spirit and quick thinking in dangerous situations, Murati's character was a symbol of courage and survival. However, Murati's personal life was much less stable. She had been married once, but her marriage ended in divorce, and her relationships with her 2 children were strained due to her intense focus on her career. Her children, feeling neglected, grew distant, and Murati's own feelings of isolation deepened over the years. Despite a successful career and recognition for her performances, the emotional cost of her professional life weighed heavily on her. She spent her later years reflecting on the personal sacrifices she made for her career, which ultimately left her feeling alone. Lili Murati passed away on April 16, 2003, at the age of 88, her death the quiet end to a life marked by courage on screen, but personal loss and regret off-screen. Peter Madden portrayed the strict and disciplined political officer in Dr. Zhivago at the age of 61 in 1965. His character was an embodiment of unwavering loyalty to political ideals and a commanding presence, reflecting the oppressive nature of the revolution. Madden's performance captured the cold authority of his role, yet his personal life was far from the image of control he portrayed on screen. Madden's marriage ended in divorce after years of emotional strain, and his relationship with his only child was distant, marked by regrets and unspoken resentment. As his career slowed, Madden struggled with increasing health problems, particularly high blood pressure, and became increasingly isolated. Despite his professional success, his personal life was filled with turmoil. Madden passed away on February 24, 1976, at the age of 71 from a ruptured aortic aneurysm. His passing was quiet, leaving behind a legacy of unfulfilled potential and personal loneliness. Luana Alcaniz played the elegant and supportive Mrs. Sventitsky in Dr. Zhivago in 1965 at the age of 59. Mrs. Sventitsky was known for her grace and the emotional support she offered those around her during difficult times. Alcaniz's portrayal captured the character's calm and nurturing nature, yet off-screen, her life was marked by emotional hardship. Alcaniz's first marriage ended in a painful divorce after years of infidelity and emotional neglect. She remarried, but that relationship also faced strain, eventually resulting in another divorce. Though Alcaniz had one child, a daughter, their relationship grew increasingly distant as Alcaniz's personal struggles took their toll. Her financial instability and battle with loneliness in her later years left her feeling isolated and unfulfilled. Alcaniz passed away on July 24, 1991, at 85, her death marking the end of a life spent largely in the shadow of personal heartache and unspoken sorrow. Maria Martin portrayed the elegant and dignified gentlewoman in Dr. Zhivago in 1965 at the age of 42. Her character's grace and poise in the midst of turmoil contrasted sharply with the struggles Martin faced in her personal life. She married actor Rafael Navarro, but their relationship was fraught with emotional distance, infidelity, and deep unhappiness. The couple had 2 children, but their marriage deteriorated over time, eventually ending in divorce. Martine's career, though respected, never offered the fulfillment or joy she longed for, and she struggled with feelings of loneliness and isolation throughout her later years. Despite maintaining an outward appearance of dignity, she was deeply affected by the loss of love and stability in her life. Maria Martine passed away on June 10, 2014, at the age of 90. Although she lived a long life, her later years were marked by a sense of unfulfilled potential and emotional pain, overshadowing the grace and stability her character exuded on screen. José María Caffarel portrayed the brave and loyal militiaman in Dr. Zhivago at the age of 46. Caffarel's character was defined by his dedication to the revolution and his comrades, displaying unwavering loyalty even in the face of hardship. However, in real life, Caffarel's personal life was far from the idealism his character embodied. His marriage ended in divorce after years of emotional strain and his frequent absences due to his demanding career. His relationship with his children suffered, and Caffarel found himself increasingly isolated. Financial instability and an overwhelming sense of guilt weighed on him, pushing him into a deep depression. Despite the public image of bravery and strength, his later years were filled with regret. Caffarel passed away on November 6, 1999, at 79 from a heart attack, a tragic end to a man whose real-life struggles were in stark contrast to the heroic character he portrayed on screen. Victor Israel played the weary and downtrodden hospital inmate in Dr. Zhivago in 1965 at the age of 36. His character, deeply marked by suffering and perseverance, reflected the harsh reality of the Russian Revolution. Israel, though a dependable actor, struggled throughout his career with a lack of significant roles and widespread recognition. His personal life mirrored his on-screen character. His marriage to actress Maria José was marred by frequent separations, emotional neglect, and a sense of unfulfillment. Despite their attempts to mend their relationship, the marriage ended in divorce, leaving Israel with no children. His later years were spent largely in solitude, battling health issues and feelings of isolation. He passed away on September 19, 2009, at the age of 80 from natural causes. His death, after decades of quiet suffering, left behind a legacy of unnoticed performances and a life full of missed opportunities, much like the tragic characters he portrayed. José Nieto played the devout and compassionate priest in Dr. Zhivago in 1965 at the age of 62. The priest, a figure of moral strength and guidance, stood in stark contrast to Nieto's personal life, which was riddled with personal struggles. His marriage to actress Maria Luisa Gutierrez was fraught with emotional strain and occasional infidelities, and despite having 2 children, Nieto often felt disconnected from his family. His deep battles with depression and self-doubt often led to a sense of isolation, and his emotional distance from his loved ones grew as he aged. Although he achieved success in his career, it could not shield him from the loneliness and despair that pervaded his personal life. José Nieto passed away on August 9, 1982, at the age of 79. His death came after years of quiet suffering, leaving behind a legacy of compassion on screen but an enduring sadness that marked his personal life and relationships. Who is your favorite character from Dr. Zhivago? How do you feel knowing that some of the actors have passed away? Don't hesitate to leave your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy this content, please remember to like, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you won't miss future videos. Thank you so much.